This is the Cafe Racer Podcast, episode 131 for August 30th, 2018. I'm Crash.
And I'm Daddy No Fun.
All right. We did that intro thing and it didn't all go to crap. So go us. Just gonna pat myself on the back.
Yeah, I think you're
Pat
right.
you on the back. So it's been eventful the last, I guess, 2 weeks since we were in 2 weeks and change since we recorded, huh?
Extremely.
Yeah. I don't even know where to start. Let's see. Well, I think a lot of people know. A lot of people in Slack know what's been going on. So if you want to be a Patreon subscriber and get all the up to date details minute to minute, the Cafe Racer Podcast adventure, then do that. Slack.com/Cafe Racer Podcast, I think. But why don't you go first? You have some stuff.
Well, so we talked about this a show ago that we're going to be giving away this really cool Moscow Moto Nomad bag, and man, this thing's phenomenal. It's brand new. Basically, I only had it on the bike for one trip, so it's in perfect condition. Comes with all the original accessories, including the water bladder, and somebody's gonna be lucky to get it. Retail price on it's around $200. So we'll post on all the social media sites after this show airs the link to the contest. Right, Crash? Is that how we do it? Crash, you there? I think you're frozen. Where did he go? Where did you go, dude?
Did I lose connection? I don't know, man.
You lost connection. Yeah, you were gone.
The
And there's still a
Wi-Fi in my
window
place
down
is
there
weird.
with you in it that's kind of weird. That
Yeah, it'll go away eventually.
Okay.
Um,
So what I was saying is we're gonna post the contest after
oh,
this episode airs for the Nomad bag.
yeah. So who makes that? Why can't I think? Moscow Moto
Moscow Moto
Nomad
Nomad
tank bag.
tank bag comes with the water bladder, all the necessary equipment to hook it up, and it converts into a backpack too. It's pretty cool. Um, it's in perfect condition. Keep in mind that if you're a Patreon supporter, you get two chances to win this. Right?
Count them, 2 chances to win.
Two chances to win. And this contest will be open to everybody. So on all our social media, it'll be a link to where and how you can enter the contest. No purchase necessary. Right?
Nope, no purchase necessary.
So what you alluded to me before we went on the air that there was something going on with the Bonneville. What
Oh,
happened?
yeah. So, I mean, I guess in terms of mechanically the bike is good. My low fuel light doesn't seem to work right now, but meh, whatever. I know how far I can go before I need gas, so I just make sure to get gas before that. I did find that out the hard way by running out of gas, though. I was like right in the process of having this thought, like, man, I've gone a long ways before my no fuel light came on, and the bike died. I was like, oh well, I guess that explains that. I have no real idea what's the cause of the problem, and I haven't tried to check into it at all. But I bought some SW Motec saddlebags. They're
Right.
the Legend Gear ones. They're like really nice looking. They're not nearly as big as those giant ammo cans I had, but they're pretty. And um, installing them was just like one issue after another. Um, fitment, like quality control on the pieces wasn't the best. So like the mount brackets on one side didn't want to fit on properly. in one place, and on the other side didn't want to fit on properly in another place. Plus, my shocks have an exterior reservoir, and those got in the way, so I had to flip them over, or I flipped them around so the reservoir is on the front instead of the back. Um,
That's a
but
pain. You had to go through all that to mount these things?
yeah, I mean they didn't plan for you to have like exterior reservoir shocks in order to get the brackets on, you know. Um, so
Those are not the stock shocks?
no, they are not.
I didn't know you changed shocks on that bike. When did you do that?
Years ago, they're Kawasaki ZRX 1200 shocks.
Oh, maybe I did know that now that I think
Yeah.
about it. Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I got it done. They look really good on the bike now. I actually have only barely ridden the bike with them on. Um, what else did I buy? I bought something else for the bike. Oh, a taillight. The taillight was a kind of a disaster too. I got a British Customs taillight. Looks really nice installed. And it's supposed to be just plug and play. So, plugged it in, light didn't come on, and I'm like, what the heck? Why doesn't it work? So I was looking at things, called them, and eventually figured out that one of the wires, so like two of the wires in one of the connectors in this harness were wired incorrectly,
Mhm.
but they didn't have anything where they could send me anytime soon because they were sold out of the taillight. Um, so I ended up just cutting the connector out and wiring it in myself. It still unplugs from the bike's wiring harness. It just had an extra connection in it that I ended up, taking out. So
An extra connection for what?
I don't I don't understand why they did it this way. So you've got the harness, the bike's harness,
Mhm.
and there's a plug for your taillight and turn signals in the rear. There was a harness that came from British Customs that plugged into that, and it had connections for turn signals and the taillight, individually.
Mhm.
And the taillight that also came from British Customs in the same box had a connector that plugged into that taillight connection. I don't know why they didn't just hardwire that whole thing for the taillight because that's what you were buying was a taillight. Um, but either way, I had to cut out that extra connector that didn't really need to be there in the first place. Um, and then, you know, make solder connections and electrical tape and heat shrink and et cetera, et cetera.
Why do these things never work the way they're supposed to work?
I don't know. I even like you could see like on the say you had the connector or the harness going from like left to right in your hand. It was like top to bottom. It was like red, yellow, black on the left side, and then red, black, yellow on the right side. I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Those wires are clearly not lining up with each other. Um, but like I got it to work. It looks good.
Does it include turn signals?
No, I already had turn signals. I did have to cut the British Customs connectors off to put on connectors that work with my turn signals, which was simple. I had everything to do that, um, and I knew that I was going to be doing that.
Mhm.
I had to make a new turn signal bracket, but that was also simple. I went to Home Depot and ruined a few pieces of metal, and then eventually got it to work. Um, I'm
That's
not
how you
kidding.
say
Like
that.
I just got little L brackets, like the shortest little L brackets I could find, and
Mhm.
I put them on the license plate mount. So the same bolts that hold the license plate on also hold the turn signals now. But while I was trying to drill the hole to make it wide enough for the turn signal threaded part to slip through, the
Right.
drill bit would catch and just twist the shit out of that little bracket. So
Right.
I'm
You know,
glad they come in a pack of four.
they make these things called clamps, where you could clamp it to something and then drill it.
Oh no, I had it in a vise.
How'd that happen then? Pulled it
Well,
out of the
like
vise?
no, it was
The
in the
whole vise
vise.
turned around? The vise wasn't screwed to the bench, is what you're
Oh
telling me.
no, no, the metal itself just twisted up. Like you'd be trying to drill through the hole, and the drill bit would get just a little bit caught, and it would just yank
Oh,
the thing around and
I
and like bend up the
I
L
got you.
bracket.
Sounds to me
Um,
like the drill bit wasn't sharp enough or the
I don't
wrong
know.
bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, well.
But I was careful. The first one I got done, it worked great. The second two came out real crappy, and when I was on the fourth bracket, I'm like, okay. It's this or another trip to Home Depot. Um, I
Right.
got it.
You bought something else too, didn't you? I vaguely recall.
Hmm. What else? Well, I bought a new cell phone holder for the motorcycle because I broke that because I'm
Right.
stupid. I don't really think it was me being dumb. I just broke. What else? What else? Um, oh, I bought a new motorcycle. uh, yeah. Um,
Well, let's tell everyone what you got.
yeah. So I bought a 2016, but it was technically still new. Um, KTM Super Duke GT.
This is no longer the Cafe Racer podcast.
I still kind of have one, and you still have one.
Hmm.
We just also both have KTM 1290s.
The funny thing was, is you texted me like out of the blue, and like I'm at the dealer, and I'm going to buy this bike,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay.
Like, what? Are you sure? Is this
Yeah,
a
we
good
kind of like,
idea?
yeah, we kind of like talked about price a little bit, and then I didn't hear from you for a while, and it was like going to a car dealership because you were there all day.
It was, yeah. I mean, okay. So the story of how this all kind of came to be, I was out riding with my friend Darian, and she really wants a bike. She wants a V7 Stone so bad. Um,
Cool bike.
yeah, it's really pretty. I think it, and I don't think she should get it as a first bike, but it wouldn't make the worst first bike in the world. Like it's not crazy powerful or anything like that. So whatever. If she comes into some money where it doesn't make it's not financially stupid to buy a motorcycle that you knew or whatever for a first bike, then sure, whatever, do your
Well,
thing.
we both have pretty strong feelings about buying a new motorcycle for your
Yeah,
first bike.
yeah,
Yeah.
we do. Um, I found a used one randomly the other day for like 6,500. I think is what they wanted for it. It's still too much money, I think, for a first bike, but at least it was used.
I think you can get a first gen V7 racer for less than that, can't you?
Oh, probably. I don't know how much. I don't know what year this one was. I could look through my pictures on my phone.
It's just to
Find
me,
it.
you know, has she ridden before?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
I think
talking to
she
somebody
might have
else the
ridden
other
dirt
day.
bikes some.
Right.
Um, but she and I were out. We went out just on like a ride and got some lunch. And on the way back, she was like, "Hey, can we stop at GP Motorcycles? Like, just look around." And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I don't care." They're a local like Ducati, basically all the Italian brands and KTM. Well, not
Right.
all the Italian, but a lot of them.
Right.
So Guzzi,
Aprilia too?
Ducati, they sell Aprilia. Um, and then
Moto
they also have
Guzzi.
KTM. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I was there looking at they have a Super Duke GT and it's a 2017. They wanted like 15.9 for it. They
Hmm.
really tried to sell me on your bike, the the Super Adventure. What year is your Super Adventure?
A 15, the first year they came out.
Okay, they were trying to sell me on a 17 Super Adventure. Um, so it's the same exactly like yours, just 2 years newer.
You told me the guy was
Um,
kind of pressuring you on that. The only thing I can think of is he was going to make more money on that bike, maybe.
yeah, he was just kind of like he was like the tank's way bigger, it's got way bigger saddlebags, it's got a heated seat. Like I'm like, yeah, cool. I mean, that's he's like, it's like the same, it's just as powerful and just as sporty. Like, yeah, I know. I got it. Thanks, though.
No, the GT's horsepower or not, the bike's lighter, you know?
Yeah. Not to mention, like, the super adventure would tempt me to do things I'm really, really not capable of doing. Like, oh, there's this random like truck trail. I'm gonna go ride down this truck trail. And I'd probably knock the thing over and break a bunch of shit. And then like
You'd be surprised. You can't brake a lot on that bike. I've dropped that bike off
yeah.
road a few times and nothing broke on it.
Huh.
Now
Well,
I've got different mirrors, but
yeah.
still, I had the window in the lowest position, but nothing like it. They make an accessory set of engine guards they fire and go over the tank. I don't have them on mine, and I've dumped that bike a few times, and it never touches anywhere. It's pretty amazing.
Hmm.
Um, that's also with soft bags in the back too. I imagine if I had the hard boxes on the original hard boxes, it probably would have caused some damage to the boxes because they're not real rugged. They're plastic,
Mhm.
But it's also you want a particular form factor. You didn't
Yeah.
want a sit upright. adventure bike, you wanted something a little bit more sporty, and that's
Yeah.
what you picked, right?
Yeah, I really do want a small dirt bike
Mhm.
because I wanna get a lot more comfortable off road and then maybe, like, work my way up the, like, adventure bike sort of, like, pyramid until I find the one that fits me just right, you know?
Well, I'm gonna be
Um,
honest too. If I had more time on a smaller dirt bike, I'd have more confidence on my bike.
yeah, I get terrified off road, so, um,
I'm not. I'm comfortable on gravel, which is strange because a lot of people aren't.
yeah.
Hard pack, loose pack. The thing that really just flips me out is loose sand, is deep sand.
Mhm.
I just don't have the confidence level yet to give it the gas that it needs and let the front wheel do what it's got to do to get
Yeah.
through sand. I know I'm doing it wrong. I just get this death grip on the front, and that's when you go down.
Yeah.
It's funny. I saw a video the other day. Somebody posted a compilation video on YouTube of a bunch of big bike KTM footage, and I'm sure some of this is like Chris Birch stuff, but it's some of it's the KTM factory riders, and a lot of it is on the new bikes, the 1090 and the 1290R, but some of it's on my bike, and it's amazing the capability that bike has with somebody that knows what they're doing on it.
Yeah.
It's extremely capable. It's the same thing as watching somebody who knows how to ride a GS Adventure. You have all these people talk about, "Oh, they're way too big." Yeah, that's BS. You get somebody that knows what they're doing and has the confidence level to wring the bike out, and that thing's pretty capable.
Yeah.
Granted, still not, there's certain situations where it is not going to be the bike of choice, like John's Hill, in Montana, where it's just too big of a bike to make that run up. But I, I think what you were looking for and what was going to make you happy was the GT, and
Yeah, I it's been kinda like I narrowed my list down to pretty much just that bike, and so I left there. I left the dealership and was kinda, like, thinking about, um I looked online to see what other KTM dealers were around, and I forgot there was this one down in, like, the south part of San Diego that is also a KTM dealer, who was recently bought out by, like, another chain further up north, so they, like, have a new name now and everything, but, um, they, uh they had one listed on their website. It's a 2016. It said, like, demo model, has 200 miles on it. Um, and I called them. I was like, "Okay, hey," 'cause and I was hoping to get a test ride on one. I wasn't
mhm.
really thinking, like, "I wanna come down and buy this thing tonight or today." I just was thinking or tomorrow or whatever, like, I was thinking, like, "It's a demo model. Maybe they'll let me ride the damn thing." Um, so I called, um, you know, set up a time to come down, went down there, like, basically right when they opened, and yeah, it took all day. It was they because they have, like, they're a giant dealer, they have the same kinda setup as a car where they're like, "You can buy this maintenance plan, you can buy this extended warranty, you can buy this" I don't know, pick a random car option at a car dealership, and they probably have that too. Um,
They pulled the same thing when I bought mine, and remember, I bought mine in Melbourne, which was, like, 2 hours from where I lived,
yeah,
and it wasn't even a KTM dealer. It was a Honda Kawasaki dealer, and
yeah,
I went into the finance guy's room, and I told him, "I'm I have a draft from my bank. I'm not financed." "Well, let me see what I can get you." And he
yeah,
couldn't come close, and then, "Well, here's this maintenance plan for oil changes here." I'm like, "I live 2 hours away. I'm not driving here for oil changes." It was the same thing. It's like, I can't stand that whole process and the whole experience of buying a vehicle, whether it's a
yeah,
bike or a car. When I bought the truck, I called the dealer and said, "I'm going to spend 20 minutes in there, and if it's any more than 20 minutes, I'm walking out. I want you to have the truck ready for me." And they did. My friend actually was the wholesale parts guy there, so he kind of arranged it for me. But I went in and signed the papers and got my stuff and left. You know, um, that bike. So you'd never ridden a 1290 before buying that? 'Cause I thought you told me you did a demo ride on a super adventure.
mm-mm, no.
So were you, like, freaked out when you got outside and you had to swing a leg over it? What'd you think?
No, I it's super easy to ride, hold on one second.
Does the steering When I
Um,
rode Scott's Bonneville, does the steering feel lighter on the KTM than it does on the Bonnie?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the bars might be wider, so that would help too. But I mean, I'm sure it's a more aggressive, you know, uh, like angle.
What's the bar configuration on it? Is it clip-ons or are they
No,
like my
it's the Super Duke GT is fairly upright still. In fact, a lot of people look at it and think it's an adventure bike because it's not. It doesn't look like a traditional sport tour. It looks like a Duke that has been, a windshield and bags have been added to it. So,
right.
like, because the Super Duke is a naked bike to begin with. So, um,
How's the quick shifter work?
it doesn't have the auto blipper thing that like the newer Super Dukes have.
Mhm.
Um, so like the manual says not to like downshift with it.
Okay.
Um, but it will like auto. You can shift up without the clutch at any time.
That's interesting. Did
Yeah.
you did you get a feel for the slipper clutch yet?
No, I haven't like really tried to like back it into a corner or anything yet.
Right.
I so it had 200 miles. The first service is supposed to be done at 600,
Mhm.
and the end of my experience at the dealership was a little bit like kind of made me not ever want to go back there. Um, I'm actually going to be moving in San Diego. I'll say in San Diego, but I'm moving closer to that dealership where it will be the closest KTM to me if I need something. But like they really didn't seem like they had their crap together. Um, it didn't have the toolkit. It didn't have an owner's manual. They had to order both of those things. Um, they, uh,
That bike comes from the factory with that stuff. I don't understand.
yeah, I know. It was a demo, and I don't know where they got it from as a demo. Like,
Right.
it might have been a demo from one of their other dealerships that they
Right.
own, and they just, sent it down there. But the other thing is, it might have been a demo from the dealership that was purchased. Because this dealership was purchased recently, like since I went on my deployment.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, and there's a good possibility that, whoever had it before gave it to a customer, the
yeah,
toolkit and the manual, or sold it as an an accessory. I don't know. Just
yeah, I don't know, but so they just kind of like didn't seem to have all their stuff together, but they got me the stuff that it didn't take them very long. It's just a couple days. Um,
the
but
bike the
what's
bike
up?
is you sent pictures of it, and it's funny because yours looks a little was there a color change at all?
Yeah, 2016 is it came in silver and orange or like just silver.
Mhm.
And then now they're black and orange or like just black, I think.
Right.
Like they definitely look different now.
Yeah, if you follow us on Instagram, he posted a picture on there of the bike up against some crazy mural.
Yeah, I
Looks
was
like
getting
it's
coffee in San Diego and there was this
looks like the bike
um
belongs under the ocean in that picture.
yeah.
Pretty funny. Yeah, so you like it, right?
Yeah, I love it. It's really easy to ride. It's extremely forgiving. It's got like all these systems that keep you from killing yourself. So like the fact that it has 3 times the power of the Bonneville
Mhm.
and then some and weighs the same amount. Um, I haven't I haven't gotten into any tricky situations with it, like I haven't like even scared myself at all. Um,
You turn off the traction control yet?
no, not yet. I'm going to. I want so the other thing is I'm still in like well, I was in the break-in period where I shouldn't rev like over like 6 grand or something.
Mhm.
Um, and then the next stage in the break-in period, I think I can go up to like 10 something, which that's where I am now. Um, but
It's that's an I think it's an auto setting too. Like you're getting a red line light, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it'll change by itself when you get to that mileage. It's kinda cool.
Um,
Did you figure
Random
out the
question while we're here. Do
Go
you
ahead.
have so yours, how yours will tell you like fuel range, like how much do you have gas you have left in the tank? Like
Right.
mine seems to be extremely generous. Like when I fill up with gas, it'll say I can go 300 miles, but I could maybe get 200 out of a tank.
And before you get the reserve light? Or
Yeah.
you have you ran the tank empty yet?
I haven't run the tank empty, but, like, I'll get to, like, 180, and I've got, like, 1 bar left at the bottom, um, of
Yeah,
the
I
fuel
rode
gauge.
I've actually ridden mine a lot longer than that. When the bar goes away and the tank thing starts flashing,
Mhm.
and I can't to be honest with you, I cannot remember what the maximum mileage I got out of a tank is, but I'm getting around 35 to 37 miles per gallon.
Yeah, me too,
Yeah.
which 37 or 36 miles per gallon times 6 is, around 200 miles.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not really sure how that thing calculates either. Now mine, when I get to the where it's flashing and I'll go put gas in, my reserve's like 2 gallons.
yeah, my reserve's like a gallon.
'Cause I have an 8-gallon tank, so I'll
Mhm.
put in 6 gallons, it's ready, it's full.
Yeah,
But I've gone pretty far, past the flashing tank symbol. A couple times I thought I was gonna run out of gas just because I was trying to find out how much I could put in it.
right. I
Um,
was just, like I was when the little fuel range thing comes up and says, like, 300 miles, I was looking online and somebody said that they took theirs to a KTM dealer and asked them about it, and they, like, reflashed the computer, and now it works properly. So I think it may have been an issue with, like, the earlier Super Duke GTs or something, like,
well,
I don't know.
I would ask them to put it on the monitor and see if there's any technical service bulletins that come up on it.
Mhm,
And mine, I'm gonna have them. They can set the preload suspension plus or minus 5%.
mhm,
So that the on the do you have electronic suspension control on yours?
yeah,
Yeah. Yours is probably fine the way it is, but I'm gonna set mine up 5%. So the
yeah,
single rider setting is 5% higher than normally.
yeah.
I'm not really sure how that's calculating the fuel mileage.
I don't know. Um,
I don't
I
really
did
pay
I did hear
much
about a
attention to it.
couple. Say again?
I don't pay much attention to it, honestly.
Yeah, I was just thinking about, like, because it's there and I have it set on a little favorite screen, so it's like I could see it, um, but it's so wildly inaccurate.
You know what's funny is I've never set that screen.
No?
No, I need to go in there and because I every once in a while I'll scroll to look for the temperature, and the stuff like that, but I've gotta set that screen up so it has everything I normally use on it.
Yeah, it's super quick.
You have a fuel taps on the bottom of your tank? Did you look to see?
No, I haven't
So,
looked.
it's probably configured differently. I mean, I'm looking at kind of a picture of so mine yours might not be the same way. Well, mine, where the tanks kind of go down on either side, like saddle tanks,
Yeah, yeah.
there's a crossover, right? The fuel
Mhm.
pump is only on one side of the tank,
Yeah,
on the right side and the bottom, and then there's a crossover, a fuel line that comes off these 2 fuel taps. So I can actually shut off the left side of the tank, so it can't transfer fuel over to the right side,
hmm,
or I can pull that hose off and drain fuel out of the bottom of the tank, which is a kind of a cool thing. Like, if you need to
yeah,
get gas out of the tank for a stove or something, you wanted to burn some
yeah,
unleaded, you can drain it out of the bottom of the tank. Just look to where your bottom there's a connection there for the fuel line, which is a quick connect, which is actually really nice if you're gonna take your tank off.
yeah.
It's a dry quick connect setting. I mean connector. Uh, what are you gonna do as far as mods? Have you thought about it?
I've been looking. I'm sitting around on the computer at work, trying not to do anything for a while, just, like, um,
Yeah, I'd break it in. I mean,
just break the bike in, get used to it, see what, like, sticks out. The one thing that's, like, immediately noticeable, I don't know if you have this issue, my one of my mirrors gets, like, buzzes so much I can't use it while I'm on the freeway. Like, my
I
right
took
mirror, like, vibrates a
I
ton.
took mine off because I didn't like the view I was getting,
Yeah.
and I put on the CRC mirrors, the ones that kinda rotate.
Mhm.
Um, I got mine from, I'll think
Are
of it in a
yours
second.
are yours bar end mirrors or no?
No, they actually have a kit. The mirrors are from the UK and they're designed as bar end mirrors, but there's a kit that's made from this company, and they actually screw into the handguards
Oh.
on the side
Yeah, I
of
don't
the
have
handguard.
handguards.
They're sold by Rottweiler. That's who sells
Okay.
them.
I've seen those.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't have handguards.
they're kind of cool. I mean, but they make them. Let me look check real quick and see if they make them for that bike. Just a different setup. They're because it goes by bike. Let's see. No, they don't have it. They only have the Super Adventure 1290. Let's see. Super Duke 1290 GT right here. Hold on. So these things are they what's nice about them is they give you a different view than the regular
Yeah,
mirrors do. Let's see. Rottweiler's become my go-to place for a lot of stuff, you know? That and KTM Twins.
yeah. I've been
KTM
looking on both of those places.
Yeah, KTM Twins has a lot of really neat stuff. I
One
might
of
be
the things
getting
I was thinking about was, I think the company's called like Fast Company or something. Um, they make these like
what? And he disconnected again. He's gone again. Okay, so I'll just tell you guys that I don't see those 1290. If you have a 1290 Super Duke GT and you're using something other than the stock mirrors, give us a shout out and let us know what you're using because I didn't like the stock mirrors on my 1290. They were just the way they're set. The space in between them is not real usable. You see your shoulders a lot, and they're kind of high. These things were
all right,
just
I'm
a lot
back.
easier to
That's
use. Here,
weird.
what's going on? You keep dumping out.
Dude, I don't know. Like the connection here has been really weird. Like my TV has a Wi-Fi connection and it's like been really hit or miss the past few days.
Yeah. So I was just saying, I looked on there and I don't see anything. There's they're called quick flip mirror mounts, and they're from a company called Arrow. They're a
Yeah,
little pricey. They're $229, but I do not think they make them for the your bike.
yeah. I I was thinking about I think the company's Fast Company or something like that. They make these bar end weight things
Oh
that
yeah, yeah, I know who they are.
yeah, they make the ones that go inside the bar. Like you take out the insert that your bar end weight initially screws into, and you thread this new one, and it's like long and weighted and shit.
Mhm.
So I was thinking about doing that to like mellow out the vibration in the handlebars.
See, I think
Um,
CRG makes those as well. I think they have the
yeah,
same thing. Yeah, or a bar mount one that just kind of goes on the
yeah.
bar.
Um,
I don't like. I was saying when you were disconnected that I do not like the stock mirrors at all. They're
yeah, I
just
don't mind the position and what I can see from mine. Um, I something I think is weird, not really weird, but like kind of dumb. The front end of the bike is all like futuristic and the LED everything pretty much except for the actual headlight itself. And then you go back to the back and the tail lights LED. The rear turn signals are like crappy parts bin, just
yeah.
like regular old incandescent turn signals.
No, I'm changing mine out. There's actually a kit now from Cyclops for those. I'm gonna change them all out.
Now there's a Rizoma. The turn signals I have on the Bonneville are these super modern looking Rizoma LEDs. Um, and I think I might just get a pair and put them on the back of the Super Duke.
Are they the Rizomas like $1,500 a piece? Because I know they're usually expensive as
Yeah,
hell.
right about that. I think they're oh geez. I think they're like 60. I want to say they're like 60, yeah, $60 a piece. Like $60 for one turn signal.
So let me tell you how much these things are. These are a little bit more money.
Yeah, because when I did the Bonneville, I remember it was like $240 just for the turn signals.
Yeah, these things are wow, $249. They're Evolution Safety Turn Signal inserts, which man, I saw the video on these things and I think they're pretty cool. I just gotta really you can change the color of them and they have real high intensity.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a look at them. Maybe when we go to AIM, I'll stop by and talk to the guys over at Cyclops because I'm real happy with the light bar and the headlight. That makes a huge difference on that motorcycle. Huge difference. But see, I think yours has a higher quality headlight than mine did. Mine weren't LEDs or any high output lights. I think yours
I
is
think
different, correct?
I think mine's the same exact headlight as yours, actually.
Seriously? Because I mean, does it seem dim to you?
No, but I've been riding around with, you know, the Bonneville's headlight. So,
Right. Have you ever thought about changing the Bonneville headlight out for one of their 7-inch lights?
I haven't looked at Cyclops specifically. I've had a few different headlights on the Bonneville. Um, I'm open to changing it again. But yeah,
I'm thinking about changing on the Moto Guzzi.
I've
Their
really liked
Phoenix,
which one?
the Phoenix.
Oh,
Cyclops
I've
makes a Phoenix LED light. It's really cool. It's 5 LEDs in it. It's pretty neat.
I have to look at that. I had one of their bulbs before.
Mhm.
That just like the replacement, the H4 replacement bulb. Um, it's just the Bonneville has so much wiring and stuff in the back of the bucket that like the little fan and everything that sits on the back of that LED like really
Well,
made me
wait,
uncomfortable with how much it like dug into all that wiring and stuff.
yeah, wait till you pull the KTM apart. There's a ton in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I some of mine I had to be creative to find places to put it because it's especially when I put the light bar in because I had even more wiring and that kind of plugs into the same harness as everything else.
Yeah. It looks like um the headlight bulb and stuff though is pretty easy to access on mine. I could be wrong.
It's well, it's probably the same. There's plastic that's got to come off, and then there's 4 screws that hold like the headlight nassle they call it in place. You undo those, and then the whole thing kind of comes out as one unit. Once you get the plastic off, mine's probably worse than yours, but that headlight comes out as one piece, and it's easy to unplug everything. Yours might be easier. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
Mine had a lot of plastic around it because I've got to take the side panels off and then the top panel over the fuel can and
Yeah.
but the last few times I've done anything, I've taken the fuel tank off and everything because now that I've been doing it for a while, it's pretty easy to do and it's pretty
Right.
quick. And I'll tell you something that I think we've talked about this in the past. One tool that I purchased that made life much easier for me on that was a T-handled wrench, a T-handled socket wrench
Yeah.
that has all the connect. You know, you can get them from like Craftsman or a bunch of different companies, but the one that I have from Craftsman kind of spins on itself.
Mhm.
So it has a piece in the middle that you kinda hold on to, and then it has all the correct sockets you need, and then you just spin it, and it spins real fast, and everything comes out really quick. And you can get a nice grip on it when you wanna torque down a little bit. But, the one thing, and I don't know how if yours is the same as mine, what you're gonna wanna keep an eye on is the screws are different sizes. So depending on where they
Of course
go.
they are.
Yeah. So I kinda line mine up, like, if I start from the back to the front, I've got like a parts tray. I'll just kind of line them up in the parts tray so that they're all in the order of how they came out. There's 3 different sizes on mine. So you gotta be kinda careful of that when you're doing it.
Yeah. I did the oil change, the 600-mile oil change the other day because 'cause I've had the bike for, I guess, a little over a week now, and with my commute, I was I got up to the, you know, 600 miles relatively quickly from 200.
How'd the
Um,
oil look?
Black.
Yeah.
Um, and the little screens had orange crap in them.
Yeah. I've gotta
So
do mine pretty
I
soon.
rinsed those out and changed the oil.
Did you put the Motul back in, the oil that they
The
recommend?
Motor
Or
X.
yeah. Motor
Yeah,
X? Mine's
yeah, it's
yeah.
Motor X.
Yeah.
I That crap's expensive. Oh man,
No, tell me about it.
like it was like $80 just for the supplies you need for an oil change,
I think I
or like
spent more than that,
90 bucks or
actually.
something. And then I had to go actually do the damn thing myself. But the dealer quoted me like $400 for the first service.
Yeah, I paid that. I was
And
a
like I
dummy.
looked through what they do in the first service. I'm like, you want $400 to check to make sure the bike still runs like a motorcycle, and then to change the oil?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I made the mistake of paying that the first time. and I won't go back for the services. I'll do them myself.
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot that's got to come off for me because I've got that big giant black dog bash plate on the bottom of it.
Oh,
But
yeah. I had just had to take off so my bike has, like, a little scoop on the bottom.
yeah,
One of the little covers on the left side of the scoop has to come off, and that's it.
that's not bad.
I could probably get away with just taking one bolt out and, like, prying it up and moving it out of the way. Um,
I saw somebody who made a bash plate underneath that had holes in it where those filters were.
oh, nice.
That seemed like a pretty decent idea, but I don't know. It's there's just 4 bolts holding it on. It
Yeah,
comes
that's
off
not
pretty
bad.
quick. Yeah, put it up on the center stand.
Yeah, I don't have
So,
one of those, and they don't make one of those for
I
my
was gonna
bike.
ask you if is it an option or not?
No. So, I'm definitely gonna end up investing in a rear wheel stand, I think.
Yeah, they're not bad.
Although,
That's a nice thing to have.
I was poking around the forums, and I saw this stand that I want so bad. Um,
Which one is it?
it's have you heard of ABBA stands?
No.
So,
ABA?
yeah, ABBA, like the
Okay.
band.
Like the band?
Yeah. Um, this thing, it's a whole bike stand, basically. So
Yeah.
you roll it under. It's got it. You know how like a cherry picker has those feet that stick out way far, like an engine lift does, like for a car.
Okay. I think I got the
Um,
idea.
so you roll this under the bike, and it depending on the bike you have, like you use the right. They send you the right components. It basically grips your bike around like the passenger peg area, and then like one other spot on like along the frame,
Yeah.
and then you can lift then you can like pump it up and it'll lift the back end of the bike up, or you can change the configuration, it'll lift the whole bike up, and you can even have the bike lifted up in either like front wheel up or rear wheel up or level.
The whole thing comes up?
Yeah, whole bike.
Is it a hydraulic?
Yeah, it's got like a hydraulic jack built into it.
Okay.
Um and so
How
it
much are
basically
these
like
things?
I think the one I was looking at it was like $300, so not cheap but not like, multi-thousand dollar motorcycle lift expensive either.
Mhm.
Um, and so I don't I'm not gonna buy one anytime soon, I don't think, but
'Cause the one I'm looking at is $700.
maybe the one maybe I'm getting 2 of their products confused and maybe the really nice one is $700.
Okay.
Um, they had another one, maybe the one that I'm thinking of is this other one that's it can be used to either lift the front or the rear end. It still fits underneath the foot pegs. So like it lifts the rear end up, but then if you want to lift the front end up, you just there's this tool and then a strap that like goes through your rear axle because like the KTM has the single sided swing arm. It goes through there, and then you just pull the strap, and that pulls the rear end of the bike down and lifts the front end up.
So I'm looking on here, they got a bunch of different stuff. They've got a front and rear package that's like $285.
Yeah, I think that might be the thing I was thinking of,
Yeah.
which would still make it easy to change tires because you could like you know
The
get both
thing the
ends of the
thing I
scoop.
was looking at was called the Skylift that was $700, and
Oh,
the bike's pretty high in the air.
that
Although
might
they
have
say
been
this
the
one's not compatible with the 1290 Adventure R.
oh
I'll have to look on here. I like the idea of being able to lift the whole thing off the ground. I mean, I've wanted to get a lift for a long time. Just because for one, I want to be able to stand when I'm working on the bike. It kills my back sitting down.
yeah.
Even sitting in like I have one of these rolling chairs, and
Hmm.
for the most part, there's a lot of stuff you end up having to do sitting down, and I'm too old and fat to be doing that.
Yeah.
I want to get a lift, you know. And I know a lot of guys that had them in their garages and they just park on the lift, so it doesn't really take up space. They pull up on there and park on it.
Yeah. Are you think when you're saying a lift, you mean like just like like a stand, like a box?
Yeah, like the one that's it's either operates off of a foot pump or air.
Yeah.
You ride the bike on it and it kind of lifts up and it locks in place. And then they've got a section where you can drop out a wheel. You can prop the bike up on the thing,
Yeah.
stands, and then drop out your wheels and stuff. And
Um,
do maintenance like
Dave,
that.
so, like, I've seen, like, wooden just, like, boxes that people have made that you can just ride up on too.
Yeah, we talked about that on the show before. There was a guy that had plans published on the internet for those. Pretty
Yeah.
simple. Yeah, Dave had them in his shop, didn't he?
Yeah,
Like
Dave at
that?
Cerberus had them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I see them all the time, like, on Craigslist for cheap, where people have bought them and they don't want them anymore and just come and get it. And there's a couple that have foot pumps. It's a hydraulic, and you just pump it up,
Mhm.
and it's easy to do. Um, they're nice, so you can stand up and do all the work you need to do, and not be bent over or sitting on the ground, sitting on the floor. I'm probably gonna, do a pretty big service on the bike coming up soon, but, that'll include pulling out the foam for the air filters. I told you what happened last time I serviced those, right?
I think so.
No Toil has, I couldn't
Oh.
find their No Toil oil that I used the first time that was kind of red. I called the Honda dealership, and the guy's like, "Yeah, yeah, we got it here," so I go over there, and it's green. Well, it was for their dirt bike filters, and it was not as viscous as the one that I use,
Oh, yeah.
and it was real loose, and it ended up getting sucked into the bike and getting burned out the tailpipe, and the bike stunk for a long time because it was burning this weird oil. So I called the buddy of mine. He's like, "You're not gonna hurt it. It's not a big deal. It's just gonna burn it off and smell crappy for a while." So then I gotta take that filter out, clean it real well. That's another cool modification you can make, but I can tell you right now, be prepared for how loud it is.
Oh, the Rottweiler intake?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the point?
The point is you're going from a 4-inch square air filter for the intake
Mhm.
to a massive filter that's intaking now all around all sides.
Oh, okay.
So there's more air coming into the bike. Now, the kit that I got from Rottweiler, it was the stage 3. So it got rid of the whole secondary air system. Like,
Mhm.
I ripped all that stuff out of the bike, and I saved everything, just in case for some whatever reason I had to put it back together again, or if somebody were to buy the bike and said, "I don't want that stuff. I want it back stock," that I have all the original parts. I have the original air box, the snorkels that fit into the air box, the stupid air filter. The other thing I had read too was that, people were finding water coming into that air filter in the front.
Oh.
So it wasn't optimal, and now there's a big opening in the front of that air filter because I took all that out, took the snorkels out and everything. It can breathe a lot better. But I also bought the dongles that allow you to disconnect the airflow sensors, the narrow
Mhm.
band airflow sensors. So I took those completely out of the exhaust, plugged those holes. The dongles fool the ECU into thinking you're getting a certain amount of air coming in at a certain altitude, but the bike runs phenomenal. I didn't lose a lot of mileage, a little bit, but not a lot. But it breathes a lot better and it runs a lot better. But it is louder,
Mhm.
significantly louder. Scott rode the bike and he goes, "Man, I couldn't hear that when you were driving, but when you're sitting on the bike, there's a growl to it
Hmm.
because you can hear all that air getting sucked in." It also has, there's one of the velocity stacks that come with that filter is a tuned stack, and then you use the stock one, but you can replace both of them so that they're tuned. Again, it's supposed to let a cleaner flow of air going into the throttle bodies.
Alright.
Yeah. It's it, I've never had the bike dynoed, but I know a couple of friends of mine who did, and I have a buddy who's got a Super Duke, and he did that same system, and he put on not a Wings, but another, like, GPR, I forgot, some Italian brand can on there, and he's making
Mhm.
158 at the rear wheel.
Hmm.
So, that's pretty cool, that's a lot.
Yeah.
He might actually have a power commander on his too, because Rottweiler has a complete kit. They'll you can go from the basics on there just to remove the secondary air system in the charcoal canister to full kit with exhaust and the PC5 and everything.
Yeah. I don't know. I may do some of that
You
stuff,
might not like it, you
later
might wanna
on.
just keep it stock.
I like it the way it is, for right now, for sure. Like, I was looking at and there's, all these companies advertising like a, like a rear fender eliminator and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, the fender is, like, very unoffensive already.
Yeah, I didn't see a point of doing that, honestly.
Yeah, I'm
It didn't need it.
yeah, when I get the actual license plate in the mail, I'll take off the reflectors that are attached to the license plate bracket because they look stupid, but, like,
Yeah, I took all that off.
that's about it.
Yeah, I got rid of all that. There's a couple things I wanna do, but nothing I mean, I keep kicking around the idea of wings exhaust because I really like the way it sounds with that, but
Yeah,
I'm worried that it's gonna be too loud when I'm on the highway.
right.
So just looking, yeah, the kits are around the $300 range. You can the Stage 2 SAS Canada removable for like $70,
Yeah.
and the Stage 3 kit's a little bit more.
I think
And then
one
there's
one mod that I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put on one of those little the kickstand, like, foot enlargers because the
yeah,
asphalt
I've got
here
one on
gets,
my bike.
like, super
Yep.
soft, and the Bonneville almost sunk into the earth the other day.
Really?
Yeah, there's a mark in the parking lot where I'm living right now from the Bonneville's kickstand, like, and there's nothing you can do about that one, like, there's nobody makes a thing to make it wider or whatever, you just gotta, like, stomp on a beer can and throw it under there or something.
Yeah, I always carried a little plastic puck in my jacket for those
Yeah.
all the time
I
for
used
that
to have a
very
little
reason.
aluminum plate, um, I just gotta find it.
The one that Aerostitch made was kinda cool, where it had the little thing attached to it that says "Remove before flight."
Yeah, like, you would loop up to your handlebar so you could, like,
Yeah.
get on the bike and then pull it up, and you didn't
Yeah.
have to, like, bend
I
over
always
all
thought that was,
weird.
like, a great idea, it's such a simple thing, just put a little string on it.
Yeah,
Because a couple times I'd, like, bend over and, like, kick mine out of the way, and then I actually think I lost one time because I forgot to, like, go get it. I got on the bike and then kicked it off and forgot about it.
yeah.
But I think then, the other thing I wanna buy that I've been talking about for a long time are one of these micro start battery deals.
Yeah, I have one.
Which brand do you have?
I have the MicroStart one, like, the
The one
anti-gravity
by
one.
Anti-Gravity? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a bunch of them. Which one do you remember the model that you have? Because there's like
Uh,
an XP10, an XP3.
the second from the smallest one, because I didn't have the smallest one when I bought mine.
Right.
So, I have, like, the 6 or something,
Okay.
um, and I've used it a bunch of times. I love
Yeah,
it.
because when the battery craps out, I'm gonna get rid of that and put one of the newer, more modern batteries in, like a Shore
Like
Hour or
a
something like that.
Yeah, like a lithium one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been nervous to put a lithium in the Bonneville because the charging system needs to be, like, good, and I'm not sure. Like, my gauge, the gauge that I have on there, the speedometer, tachometer, everything gauge that I have on there,
Right.
has a display where it will display the voltage, and if I believe that thing, my charging system isn't that great. But I'm pretty sure when I have the seat off of the bike and I actually do it at the battery, it's not the same crappy reading that that gauge is telling me, so it might just be the gauge.
What do you think the reason is, though, that besides
Um,
being a bad gauge, you think there's another reason for that?
I think there's just some wonky wiring. I'm the one that wired that gauge up, and there's about a million individual wires I had to connect, and it's always kind of been funky. Like if you turn the handlebars really far and it pulls on the bar and on the bundle, some
Who it's not Trail Tech. Who makes that? Did the guy leave me again? He froze again. Okay. So, the only time you're gonna hear this is if you're watching the YouTube channel, because I'm gonna edit this out in in the regular video, in the, audio. He is gone again. Let's see what happens if he can make it back here. This will be number 3 for Crash. I will eject him from the show, and hopefully he will come back. Yeah. So I think he's got nah, maybe it's not a Trail Tech on there. Alright. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, I should go to YouTube and see if people are giving me a hard time on there for this. 3 times now. 3 times the guy has dumped out on me. Not a
Well,
nice
I'm
guy.
back.
3 times now. 3 times you've split on me.
Yep, I'm sure it'll happen again too. I don't.
I will edit it out, so if you're listening, you won't hear it, but,
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know what you heard me saying about the gauge, but basically, like when I did the wiring, like it's not there's a connection in there that's not quite right.
right.
Um, so I just
We got
haven't
some
ever gone
we
back.
do have some comments. Looking. Asking questions. Not sure, and our buddy Steve Case, he knows what's going on now. I don't know why you have a crappy connection there, pal.
I don't know.
So what
I
else has been going on? Anything? Did you take that bike on any spirited rides, or you just? Oh wait, I do have some interesting news. I forgot to
oh
tell
yeah,
you. So I talked to Ted from Motorcycle Man.
oh yeah.
He come on the show. So the next show we air, we and I
You'll
had a
have a
short
dirty
conversation
Harley
with him.
rider on.
Yeah, one of that filthy Harley rider. We make sure he's not bringing in any dirty people into the show. No, he's a great guy and he's very
Yeah,
knowledgeable
yeah,
and he very, very knowledgeable on Harley Davidson and it's funny, we had a little conversation and you guys know how I feel about the dealers, but he said that it's a completely different experience in Jersey with the dealer network. That they were very supportive of the streets when they first came out and that so maybe it's just a younger or more savvy generation up there.
yeah. Maybe.
But he's gonna come on the show. Hopefully the next show we record, he gave me some dates. I gotta email him. And then I'm also going to do something that's been kind of near and dear to my heart is ways to carry stuff on the bike. So besides like the tank bag, just bags in general, and I don't necessarily mean stuff that's mounted, but more like a backpack. So I've got a couple backpacks coming that I actually bought and paid for from a company called Boundary. And they're supposed to be designed to be able to carry cameras in them and
Hmm.
then just everyday stuff. So you could actually these if I'm not mistaken, you could throw in a change of clothes, like a toiletry kit, some camera equipment, throw this thing on your bike and get on the bike and back and get on the bike and go. And they're relatively waterproof. So I'm going to test these things and do like a kind of comparison video between those and the bags that I already own, like the Kriega, something that's motorcycle specific that was
Yeah,
designed purpose built for a motorcycle to see if there's really that much difference in a bag that was built for a motorcycle and just a decent um I don't want to say premium, but yeah, I guess they are a premium backpack. So there's a few companies out there that make stuff that it should have a good crossover. One of the companies I saw I liked, they had a feature where you could either hide the backpack straps and then strap the bike or the bag on the back of the bike or kind of contain those straps so they're not flapping all over the place. That's kind of the requirements. If you're listening and you're a guy that likes gear and packs and you carry some tech around with you like a laptop and cameras, make a recommendation for me. Email us. We're at feedback at caferacerpodcast.com or steve at caferacerpodcast.com. Send me some feedback on what kind you like, and I'll try to get them and check them out. So, just so you know that there was somebody on the chat, Mark R, who said that bash plate with the drain hole is from a company called All Rider.
oh, yeah, alt writers, yeah, I know
Yeah.
them.
He also
They're quick.
said $260 for a bike lift from Harbor Freight.
Say that one more time.
$260 for a bike lift from Harbor Freight.
Hmm.
I've had mixed use or mixed
Results?
results from Harbor Freight. Some stuff has been great, and other stuff's been complete crap.
Yeah.
But the
I try
stuff
to
that was
keep my
complete
Harbor
crap, I
Freight
brought
stuff
I
I
brought
I try
back.
to keep my Harbor Freight stuff simple.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'll just keep looking. I got to make
Yeah.
the space for it in the shop. You know, right now I got a bunch of crap in there I don't need. But anyway, I'm also hoping to have. There's somebody I've been following on YouTube who's a bag review guy, and possibility of maybe seeing if he wants to come on and just talk about that stuff that's out there. E-
Yeah.
I did. You can't find a lot of this stuff by just doing a normal web search because I've done like camera tech, backpack, motorcycle Google searches, and I keep getting like JanSport or Low Pro or Think Tank Photo, something that's very specific.
Yeah.
Most of the backpacks I've seen from like companies like Low Pro or Think Tank, there's not enough room for everyday carry stuff. It's mostly all cameras. And I'd be happy with carrying one camera body, two lenses, a digital recorder, maybe a microphone for the camera, and then
Yeah.
day-to-day stuff. So I think that these 2 bags that I got may be something that would work out, and I might even send one to you to try out and see what you think.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's what I got right now. Hopefully, we'll have Ted on the next show. You got
Yeah.
anything else?
You asked me if I had done any like spirited,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
rides
right,
beyond
right.
just
I
commuting.
interrupted you.
No, it's fine. I've been commuting pretty much exclusively. I took like the long way home from the dealership, and that was nice. I think me and Rob are gonna go out on Sunday during this coming weekend. So I don't know where we're gonna go. I actually planned a trip. I was sitting at work, going like, "What am I gonna do this weekend?" I don't really have anything going on, and I planned a trip up the Pacific Coast and back, but
Mhm.
um, right trip, wrong time. Like I just don't want to do it right now. Like I really want to do it. Um, and now I know that like I could do it in 3 days if I really wanted to. If I wanted to like push
Mhm.
myself a little bit. Um, but on a weekend where I actually have like 4 days and it's not a holiday weekend, like if I take the time off from work to get 4 days off, um, I think that'd be better. Could not ride as far each day.
Yeah.
That way I
Uh,
could like actually stop and take pictures or enjoy the scenery or whatever.
I never like trying to push a trip like that. I wanna always keep it, more relaxed.
Yeah.
So you also told me the other day that you got some news that you're gonna be going to AIM, right?
Yeah, yeah, I've my schedule figured it is, has been figured out now with work, and I will be able to go to AIM this year, which is exciting. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, but maybe. Um, so
Yeah, the last one I did here, it was I gotta tell you, man, it was miserable. The heat was just getting to me pretty bad. It was in stop and go, really slow traffic from Miami to
yeah,
Lauderdale, and, by the time I got to Lauderdale, I had a horrible migraine just from just sitting in the heat in traffic. They picked a route that I knew was gonna be a nightmare, you
yeah,
know, on US 1 that's on a Saturday. It was horrible, but I'm gonna look at the route this year and see maybe they have one up north, farther away from my. I probably won't do the Miami one again. It was too long, too many people, and too hot. I know it's for charity, but uh, man, I about died on that. It was terrible.
right.
AIM, we're gonna be flying out. You're gonna be riding, right?
Yeah, riding or driving.
Okay. And we'll be around. We'll have some of the people from our Slack crew there with us, I think, as well,
Hmm.
which will be fun. So come check us out at AIM. We'll probably, I know for sure we'll be there on the press day and the dealer day, and maybe the first day that's open to the public. So
Yeah, I've I've got a ride that Saturday that I would like to be back here for, but it's
okay,
not the end of the world if I'm not. Um, It's also a charity thing, and I've already registered, so they already have their money, so if I don't make it, it's fine.
yeah, and we did this last year too. If you're interested in something, a particular company or a particular brand, and you'd be really interested to see an interview, send us a note and let us know what you
Yeah,
guys want, and we'll go do it. We'll make sooner than later. Again, either Crash at CafeRacerPodcast.com, Steve at CafeRacerPodcast.com. Leave us something on Facebook, Instagram, because we really like to set these meetings up with the people on the press day and the dealer day.
yeah,
I don't know if they're going to be doing demos out there. They probably will, so I'm probably going to bring gear with me because I'm thinking also about renting a bike when I'm there to do like Hoover Dam and stuff.
I'm pretty sure they are.
Okay, I haven't really talked about it. We're supposed to have Larry Little on uh before the show, so that's going to be coming up.
Cool. I'm
Uh,
excited for that.
yeah. All right, that's I
Well,
got nothing else, man.
me neither. So, let's see. You already rattled off the email addresses. CafeRacerPodcast.com is the website. Patreon.com/Cafe Racer Podcast is the place to throw dollars and cents at us if you would like, if you think that we are worth any bit of your time and possibly some of your hard earned cash. We have perks, few though they may
Man,
be. There are perks.
we'll take 50 cents a month.
Yeah,
6
sure,
bucks a
whatever.
year
Do
helps
your
us
thing.
out. Yeah.
Um, and you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you just look for Cafe Racer Podcast, you'll find us in those places.
We're all over the internets, man.
We are.
We're everywhere. One more thing I
Uh,
was gonna say, and you know what? I can't remember what it was.
nice. Good job.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm gonna keep riding my new motorcycle and leaving the Bonneville to be neglected. Um, that's not true. I'm actually there's one more project that's gonna begin this weekend. The painting project for it. So tomorrow I'm actually gonna go take it apart and get all the pieces.
Hey man, I pulled the Guzzi out. She fired right up. I rode her all day, and she ran great. I had a great time on her.
Oh, good.
Put fresh fuel, rec fuel in her, and put the charger back on, and she was great. I just needed
Oh,
to
good.
do an oil change on her. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, without further ado, get out and ride.
See ya.